it's clear that we will have to live with the state of emergency for another month after the cabinet today decided to have the emergency decree extended until the end of June. The decree gives the Prime Minister, General Prayut, the power to introduce whatever measures deemed necessary to deal with the pandemic. And of course, this doesn't go down well with critics, especially those in the opposition camp, who believes that such extraordinary power is no longer warranted because the country has been able to deal with the situation quite successfully. So the power only serves what they claim to be General Prayut's own political agenda, Kunata.
Yeah, it's very controversial regarding the extension of state of emergency, especially this week. We have the debate on the royal decree. But to talk about the new cases, Kun Thepchai, today, 3 new cases and no new fatalities. And all the 3 new cases are Thai who have returned from abroad and are in state quarantine. The first is 51-year-old woman who working in Russia and returned to Thailand on May 12. Her case is a symptomatic case, and she tested positive for the virus on May 25th in an active case finding test. The 2 others are Thai workers arriving from Kuwait on May 24th, and they enter state quarantine in Samut Prakan province.
And today the Prime Minister, General Prayut, made another appearance to address the countries on the issue of the pandemic. And he spent his time this evening talking about the meetings he has had with a number of leaders of various sizes of businesses, big, yes, medium, small businesses over the past few weeks. And he expressed his strong gratitude for these people who have expressed their willingness to help with the government in fighting against the coronavirus. But what is important that he outlined 7 points of action that he plans to take to help the country cope with the aftermath of the coronavirus. Of course, understand the impact that the virus has on the country, but he also expresses strong worries about what will happen afterward, especially the economic impact on the country.
Yes. So let's take a look at 7 points that he has outlined. What's the outcome after talking with business community in Thailand? Especially, he seems to put emphasis on small and medium-sized businesses in provinces. And the plan of action of Prime Minister from now on is to change government procurements to favor small and medium-sized businesses, especially in provinces.
Because the small and medium-sized businesses are the most affected businesses. So the Prime Minister today gave special emphasis on how the government will help these the SMEs, because in the past, the government procurements are quite comprehensive and did not really target any particular group of businesses. But this time around, because of the impact from the coronavirus, he said this evening that the government, from this point on, will focus on how to help with SMEs in the provinces especially.
Yes.
So that means that in the months to come, all procurements of the government will be designed in such a way that they would favor small, medium-sized businesses in the provinces.
Yeah, that's very, because the government has power in terms of spending. So yes, he encouraged all the public sector to try to have this purchasing procurement from SMEs, that's to help private sector. The other sector that the Prime Minister has discussed is retail association, especially he expressed the concern that department store would like to reopen their shops as soon as possible. So that is part of consideration as well.
And of course, he also made a special mention about how the government is going to help revive tourism industry, which has been a backbone of the country's economy. So he hinted the possibility of allowing domestic travel to resume in the near future. He cautioned against allowing a sudden reopening of the country to foreign visitors, And he talked about the success the country has scored so far in dealing with the pandemic. And he certainly said that the country wouldn't want to see the success spoiled by just a sudden influx of foreign visitors to the country. So he hinted at the possibility of allowing domestic travel to take precedence over overseas travel into the country.
That's right, especially because inbound flights are still banned. That's why he encouraged all the business community, if they want to have seminar or group gathering or big meeting, they should try to go to other provinces to try to stimulate local economy. And he warned that let's take service from hotel with license, with legal hotel service.
You know that the government agencies have always been a very strong driver of local economies. So with events, meetings, seminars, the government agency can certainly help boost the economy in the provinces by holding meetings, seminars instead of in Bangkok, but in provinces, so that the impact from the spending will be helpful to the local economy.
Yeah, to revive lifeblood of local economy is very important at this stage of COVID-19 crisis in Thailand. And he also have more points of the action by Prime Minister in terms of coping with COVID-19.
Sikonata, in the past few months, a lot of workers have been rendered jobless. But the problem is that they could not claim compensation through the Social Security Fund for some reasons. And the Prime Minister said he took notice of this problem, and then he issued orders, accordingly, to make sure that these unfortunate workers will be able to receive the compensations they deserve.
Yes, and agricultural sectors are really important. That is another important sector that the government are trying to raise concern, especially drought, in which farmer association have been drafting the plan, and they would like to propose to the government what they would like to have got more assistance in terms of solving drought situation.
That's right. That's one of the biggest problems facing the country at the moment. And of course, the fishing industry has been also hard hit even long before the pandemic struck. So the Prime Minister today also mentioned specifically about the plans by the government to help the fishing industry to meet the challenges. So these are the 7 major points that the Prime Minister made during his address today. And of course, he emphasized the need for the people to continue to be vigilant so that there would not be a second wave of the pandemic. So that's his biggest concern now. He wanted Thai people to be proud of the achievement that they have made, because this is something that he said has been recognized the world over, the success of Thailand in dealing with the problem.
Yes.
But of course, we need to do more to make sure that there is not going to be a resurgence of the pandemic.
Yeah, he also thanked for the business community, and he emphasized many times that there are people who are not really concerned about themselves, but they are very dedicated for the future, and that's what he would like to thank all the big corporations, all the business associations who are Thailand team. That's what he addressed toward the end of his briefing.
Yeah. He said that everybody should be considered part of the team Thailand.